La.
Hey, Rumble, how are we doing? Deja vu today.
Deja vu. AP.
Hello.
Can we get quorum today is the question. I know it's not a terribly interesting meeting, but
I heard that as condom for a second.
quorum, not condom. What?
I've got a bag of popcorn in the fridge. Not in the fridge, in the cupboard. Not that it's particularly useful for today, but
Well, AP, you know that this topic we couldn't. It's deferred from last time because you weren't here.
yeah.
We didn't feel like we could make a decision without your presence there. There's a lot of information.
Okay. Well, my concern. Yeah, I'm aware last time I probably shouldn't have put it on the agenda, considering I knew when Eurovision was. My concern, Vicky doesn't seem to be here, but
yeah, Vicky was here last time, but she came off from being pretty busy, so she had not much to add on this. So I don't know. Again, the main one is the ATC 101, which we need to discuss.
yes, that's I think the one where there is most nuance with it.
Yeah, I don't know. Okay, I'm just gonna wait for people on poll says they're gonna show up.
In absence of Vicky, I'll jump on minutes. That said, there's still only 3 of us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I might make a call here that if we don't reach quorum, we just because this topic was somewhat discussed last meeting, and that's when we did have quorum there. So I kind of want to get it dealt with.
Yeah, the minutes from last meeting. I'm checking them now. That's the wrong document. Yeah, the only thing is the only thing on the minutes is that it's deferred.
Yeah. I get unless there's also any other roads you want to point out, AP. Because
Yeah, I'm thinking should be at Vicky in particular.
okay.
Hello, Missa.
Hi, Missa. Avanish, I don't think this is going to be a record GSM. It is one topic, but we just need to deal with this little thing here. It'll be pretty short, though. But why are you... Oh, hold on, Foot's not here. Why are you not? Why are you not in here?
They're in the RD. Oh,
Hey, Polo.
Hi.
I'm going to go silent for 2 seconds. I need to change the battery in my headsets.
Okay. Give maybe a couple more minutes here. I don't know. Let's go now.
elevator music.
But you attending the meeting?
And I'm back with you.
Welcome back.
Okay, Skelly's here. I don't. Foot's somewhere. I don't know. I think we should just get started here. So, yeah, welcome to the June 2023 General Staff Meeting. This one should be pretty quick. We're just looking at one topic that we deferred from the last meeting, and that's regarding the road changes that AP and Vicky made or proposed. This is mainly just naming changes. Out of all these roads, there was one road that we couldn't make a decision on because AP wasn't here last time. That's the A3/ATC 101. Before we continue, AP, are there any other roads you want to point out that
Um,
your attention?
Nothing else has cropped up aside from that cropped up within the last few days. The B992 and the B993, which is odd. I'm not quite sure. I'm not quite sure what Whiskey's getting at there because neither of them have any change proposed on them.
Is it possible? Sorry. Is it possible that some people got confused with the road updates? Because I saw a couple threads where people weren't understanding what this was for, and they were just making updates about their road. That's what it seems like.
Potentially.
Yeah.
That seems to be what's happening with the 992 is that that seems to just be the case there of
Okay. You can double.
Whiskey's.
We can double check with Worski just to be sure, but yeah.
Yeah. 992 and the 993 are not marked for any change whatsoever.
Okay.
Renumbering or otherwise.
Okay. So let's talk about the ATC 101. There's been
Yes.
several possible solutions put up. I think it's like up to 5 or 6 right now. AP, do you want, what are your initial thoughts about this?
So, I'll get the map back up if you give me a sec. So when it comes to the ATC 101, it is I believe it's nearly over 6.5 kilometers, and the figure is on the thread. It's the only, obviously, it's an existing piece of infrastructure there already, and had it not been built had it not been built during the days of I'm forgetting the term now, shared town mergings.
SMPs?
Yes, SMB, thank you. Had it not been built, technically it is within one SMP, the AT convener megalith. So when it was built, it was allowed as a B, well, technically a local road. However, considering the geography of the region, there is no feasible way to build a highway through a T-convener. Going with the rough idea of the single-digit A roads emanate out from Central City, the natural extension of the A3 is along the ATC 101. As for the objections to it, obviously, big one, particularly from Yoshi, is eminent domain. Being this would set a precedent. Big stakeholders on this regards just looking at.
So to be specific, by eminent domain, are you specifically saying the nationalization of this road?
Yes.
Okay.
Which, yeah, I can see the objections there. I can see why that's objected.
Okay.
Something I suggested at one point, I believe, was effectively extending the A3 designation along the 101, and if it could continue out the other side if needs be. Although that would create the situation of a privately owned A road, which is
a different precedent which I objected to, and it is also a decision that was made by staff in 2020 that all A roads are publicly owned. So I don't think that way is going to work, unfortunately.
Yes. So get that up.
So Tom has explored ways of trying to build the road through ATC, and based on what I'm reading, it sounds like it's not terribly viable. So
not particularly.
So what about the option of just leaving this alone? It does mean the A3 doesn't get a connection as of yet, but yeah.
That is something considered. That is something that was, an option of renumbering, in keeping the A3 as its current stub, per se, and therefore renaming it. The suggested renumber was to A31.
The thing I was trying to get on is that I don't know. I'm not under the impression that an A3 extension is going to imminently happen. I think it would be reasonable to take ATC 101 and turn it into an A road if someone puts an A3 extension on the table, which would by necessity include ATC 101. But as it stands right now, if there's no A3 extension that's imminent or concrete, I feel like we should just leave it alone for now.
Does anyone have any other opinions they'd like to share? I know it's roads, but also Foot, you can come into the stage too. You're a mod. Get up here. Sorry, go ahead, AP. Hello?
Hi.
AP?
So, give me a second. Ultimately, it would be within the grasp of Tom and Yoshi. Now, if they wish to, because I know Tom's discussed potential A3 extension. If you look at, say, the A3 just south of XE9, that the way it splits could facilitate an extension that way, be it tunnel or bridge. So in that, and if I can very much see the designation being kept if
Hold on. Do we don't have
extension.
a map? I don't think we don't have a. Do we have a map that we can visualize here? I don't think that's something that in the thread at all. I'm not sure if it's again, I'm not sure if it's terribly important because again, it's the main issue is the road. What's the road going to be named, and what is it going to be publicly or privately owned? Those are the two big questions. The actual alignment doesn't matter that much.
I think if the A3 gets extended east, I think it justifies keeping the number of A3. At its current stage, at its current state, I don't think it does.
Alternatively, how about just leaving the ATC 101 as is, and you just do what they do in real life, where they end up having discontiguous elements of a road. So, like in the UK, I know the A169, there are multiple different parts of it that don't actually connect up. Well, worst case scenario, we just restart the A3 somewhere later down the line, and we just accept that the two parts don't connect.
I guess what you're suggesting is there's a part between ATC and Central City. I guess that would be an A3 portion there. I guess.
So so A3 traffic would still be signposted through the ATC roads.
I don't know where it would be signposted, but effectively we have two different bits of road called A3. They're effectively contiguous, but the bit in the middle just isn't.
Yeah. So to make it clear, we can't, if the ATC 101 is going to be an A road, it has to be to be consistent with all other A roads, it has to be publicly owned. So that doesn't seem to work. So the other option is to not designate it as the A3, leave it as the ATC 101. It'll still be privately owned by Tom, and it'll just the A3 will just simply connect to it.
Correct.
I believe it's owned by Yoshi, but for the most part. But
who owns it? That's the thing that also confused me. Like why Yoshi was participating in that discussion. Like who's the actual owner?
Sections within.
If it's a
Tom
private
it-
road, surely it's within the
Covina.
town. So
Tom
I think. Yoshi owns Covina.
Okay. Sorry, Scalar, what you gonna say?
I think it's that Tom would be owning the road for the most part. I think Yoshi's participating because of Covina, and plus he doesn't want to he's arguing more against the precedent of eminent domain than against this particular case.
Because it's the case of there's a potential case of if a player wishes to donate the road to the server per se, but again that's kind of a precedent. And
Sorry, AP, could you repeat that? I didn't understand what you meant by
say I can see, say if Tom was to say, oh, the road is now server owned, relinquish ownership over it, therefore it can be part of the A road network officially. However, that sets a precedent.
How so?
It's sets the precedent of a previously privately owned road can become a road after construction, which I don't think we've done.
It basically can already, because like a B road can be upgraded to an A road, at which point
Sure.
it transfers.
Hold on, AP. No, that's incorrect. In the 2020 decision, we made the decision to nationalize all A roads, make them all public, because before when we had people build A roads before, there were a couple of them that were private. I think the main one, I think it was the A50 that Mindman and Bodhi built through I can't remember the city, but that was specific. I remember specifically it said that it was owned by the player, and in that instance we decided no, all A roads should be owned by public. So we have done that before once.
But in that situation, that was a road that was previously approved as an A road.
That's true. So the circumstances were a little different. In this case, ATC 101 was never proposed as an A road. It is a private road in itself. So I guess what I'm going to ask this hard question. Does it really matter if we make this part of the A road network in the whole grand scheme of things?
Realistically, no. It like you can still use it as a road for every road rule we have. It just isn't called the A3 for that little stretch.
That's fair. Realistically, no. Be practically, I mean, whilst it would be potentially useful for navigation purposes to have consistent signage along it,
again, in the whole grand picture, how does this affect gameplay? How does this affect
The only
player
thing that it
experience,
does, the only player experience it affects in my eyes is that it wouldn't be marked on Dynmap.
Yeah.
That is the only change.
And maybe
Unless we decided to.
and maybe slightly, maybe when scary like rapid route, I don't think they do road. He does roads yet, but if in the future if that ever happens, that might affect something. But overall, it doesn't affect that much. Yeah, I haven't talked to Scary about whether roads are a thing that he's thinking about, but yeah. So,
yeah, this isn't a hill I'm going to die on.
Okay, I just want to make. I'm just trying to put some perspective here because these name changes, I think a lot of them do make sense in a lot of cases, but there's some that are like, well, we've already discussed in like quite a bit in the Discord thread and in this last staff meeting, about it, and I don't feel like we need to. I think we're giving a bit too much time on it at this point.
I think I can settle for no action stroke. I can settle for no action stroke. Sorry, what's the discussion in chat?
Elite's suggesting making it a B road, but I don't think that solves anything.
No, it's still eminent domain.
Yeah.
I can settle for B3 as it currently stands is renumbered B31.
Does it matter that the naming does the naming matter that much there in that case? Like, can you just keep it as the A3? Because unless the only thing I can think of is, are you thinking of building a completely new A3 somewhere else? That would be the only justification of it. Consider there,
Well, realistically, there's no other way of building a B3 somewhere else, or sorry, an A3 somewhere else.
Okay, so then why rename it? Because that's still
A3, that's
right?
true.
Right. So again, I talked to you. I said this in the thread, but the name changes also need to have you have to have some justification, some level of why. Why are we renaming it? In some cases, it makes sense because you're trying to combine roads together into something a bit more, to try to consolidate them. But there are also instances where it's like I don't feel like the reasoning has been provided enough. Like there needs to be a bit more to convince people of that.
Because the precedent we're trying to set with single-digit A roads are that they are the major truck routes from Central City or almost at Central City to significantly into their wards.
Ideally,
therefore,
yeah, that isn't ideal to reach, but as you can see here, because of how cities have developed and how roads have developed, like it's not going to be possible to get it all right.
I think that needs to be a blacklist rather than a whitelist approach, though. We're still saying that a random road that doesn't connect major places cannot have a single digit. It is just that this road, although it is major,
Yeah.
and I think Yoshi puts it in perspective that actually at times the ATC 101 becomes a one-lane road, so it's not really appropriate to have an A road number anyway.
Okay. Shall we leave this road alone then? Can we put this to rest?
Yeah, I think leave it alone, but my stance is that I would be open to having an extension of the A3 that just happens to connect the other side of the ATC 101.
Yeah. I mean, Tom looked at it, but based on what he said, it didn't feel like he was able to find a way to do it. I'm not sure if underground has been fully explored. The underground options have been fully explored yet. So if Tom can figure out a way, or some other people can figure out a way to make an A3 there, then sure, yeah, go for it. But
We've got level 0 through minus 64 now.
I don't think we have. Do we have roads that go that deep? That would be a first.
Probably.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
So we can keep. So, from what I'm gathering from this, of the other roads listed on the proposal, they're fine. Yeah, I'll have to listen back through the last GSM just to show that. And then, current A3 stays numbered as A3. It becomes a bit of an outlier, but it keeps us all open for an extension of it in future if that is something that gets planned. Am I understanding that correctly?
Yeah, I think we're still open to options to no longer make it an outlier, such that it does connect to Central City. But but based on how the nature of the ATC 101, we can't. And since it was originally built as a private road, not an A road, I think that does set a precedent that we should not be converting it into an A road. At this point. So, yep. Okay. So AP, the road updates channel, is it okay to close that up at this point? Like I don't.
Are we wanting to archive it, or are we just deleting?
Probably archive's a better idea in case something comes up later, but.
Yeah, it's been open for a month longer than originally planned, and I think people have had sufficient opportunity to make their objections heard, and it has been useful. There have been things where we've worked through kind of replanning and things where the original suggested change was actually not great compared to the alternatives. So yeah, I think it has run its course now.
Okay, so I'll go archive that channel, and I guess are you going to announce something, AP, or is this going to be on like this is the sheet, this is the final designations that we're...
So the sheet, we're making changes to the sheet as we've been going. Obviously, in the agenda, we have the changes, not that we have the actual change. Those are the changes that have been made compared to the initial assessment. So that's not the list of changes. There are a lot of changes that were not challenged. But yes, everything's on the initial assessment document, which has been updated as these changes have come in.
And there's still the question of some people going in there and actually changing signage and I guess dyne map markers and stuff like that. I'm assuming
that was going to be exactly my next question. How do we go forward from here?
Yeah, I'm guessing you want staff to help out with that or something.
Yes, I don't think it's something. I think it's something that will need a lot of coordination. we can probably use the same sheet for an extra column of acted upon Dynamap changes, acted upon signage changes.
I think signage doesn't just have to be staff. Certainly, we can ask conductors to help out, and well, the community at large if they're willing to update signage.
Particularly the road owners, if they're still available, or any more stakeholders.
Okay. Yeah, Polo's have volunteered to help out too, so. You know,
Yeah.
there you go.
But the way I see it is, we effectively need on a sheet is the decision that's been made. It'll be ideal to get some kind of map so people can see the stretch of road that is affected, and then a couple of checkboxes for, first of all, updating all the signage, second of all, updating the Dynamap line, and third of all, just probably a final check to confirm that those directions have been carried out.
Yeah. That's fair. We can probably, as part of this, we'll probably need to do a bit of a revamp of the road sheet anyway, frankly. Sometimes it's not been updated, and the data approved. I mean, as far as it seems to be, data approved seems to be the date the first section was approved.
Alright.
But yeah, definitely a map of changes to be made. A rough map made in Inkscape is probably sufficient for most intents and purposes. But yeah, I'll get what. I'll probably be organising that with Vicky over the next few weeks, just to get the logistics sorted.
Yeah, sounds good. I think probably next GSM is a good target for having that new document ready, and we can at the next GSM we can formally ask the community for support in whatever way we think is appropriate, which is realistically going to be updating signage and maps.
Definitely.
Okay. Cool. All right. Any other questions? Anything left over? I think we're good to move on from this topic. Okay. So the only other topic here is just confirming the dates for the next 6 GSMs. It's pretty standard fare. Still alternating Saturdays and Sundays. Again, my personal opinion is I wish we would just stick to one day or the other, but you know, the reason we do this is because of staff availability. For the people here, do you prefer? Do you just want to continue doing this alternating pattern of meetings?
No strong opinion. I do prefer Saturdays, but I appreciate some people don't.
Skelly?
I prefer Saturday as well, but it's not so strong.
Okay. I think we might revisit it maybe when the new year comes in. I'll keep it like this for now, but
Also, I'm aware you're asking us which day we prefer when.
So what we're saying is the people that can make it on a Sunday prefer a Saturday.
Yeah. I think necessarily asking this at a GSM on either day is going to bias it.
the problem with this is every time we ask this question, it's always like some people prefer Saturdays, some people prefer Sundays, some people are like, my schedule's all over the place, doesn't matter. So I don't know.
I'm happy to keep it as is for the remainder of the year, and actually we've removed ISMs now, so that's one less.
Yeah, that does.
That's one less day a month you're taking up.
Yeah, that does help a bit. Okay, let's keep it as is. I'll make agendas and minutes and all that sort of stuff for those. Okay, that is half an hour. That's the end of this GSM. Go outside. Go have fun. Go, I don't know what else to say.
Fun? What's that?
Well, I guess if there are any questions, I guess because the ASM was yesterday. I don't know if people didn't have any. I guess there'd be another opportunity for if people had any questions about the ASM too. You know, with Chief resigning and the new server, you know, this is now a good time to ask. Otherwise, we're gonna end the meeting soon here. Yeah, GSMs. Well, again, back in the
Tom, if you have a look on the website, you can see a list of topics.
yeah. Simon's already made a post. I'll make a on the website. Yeah, I'll make another one for the GSM. But there's not much to say here.
Yeah, there's chief's resignation, new server machine. I'm assuming any other updates, staff only, are going to be in
There was
private.
one other update, which was just we had a ban appeal, but we rejected it. No name given.
Yeah, and I informed that player of the ban appeal. Of the result of that. Polo, that's not a good idea. Okay. Sleep is more important than ASM. Simon, did you include Chief's letter in the website post? I don't know if
I didn't, just because I wasn't sure if he'd wanted to keep that as members only,
Okay,
because he put it in the Discord.
that's fair. Okay, I'm not seeing any questions here, so I think we're gonna bring this meeting to a close. All right. Okay.
Who's?
Yes.
Oh, is that a question?
Oh,
I mean, the
Elite,
minutes are empty, but
Elite, this better not
Oh,
be
at
the
least
trust-
got his hat in the channel.
Oh, yeah, Elite, this better not be trustee meeting stuff. Please.
I have invited you to speak, Elite.
No, this is for once not trustee stuff. I actually had a question about B roads in the Northeast, specifically the B16, which runs from the B12 to Benyon. Is that going to be decommissioned? Guys, as the mayor of Benyon, I would actually like for that to be decommissioned because I've left that town in a worse state than ever.
so yeah, on the sheet it's currently marked as renumber to B156. So you're wishing to, if I understand this correctly, you own the B16.
I'm sorry.
You own the B16, but
No, I would like the road. I'd like the road to be completely decommissioned. It serves no purpose. I've also murdered that town, so might as well finish the job.
Okay. This feels like something you guys could talk about, you know, in a thread or something, on what the status of that road is, because we're
Yeah,
kind of past the point of, like, we already went through. We had a call out for months for people to bring up issues about roads, and now you're bringing it up now, Elite. So
Didn't cross my mind until about 10 minutes ago.
okay,
So.
fair enough, but maybe I don't think now, unless you. It sounds like you might have to discuss this in private, or in a
Right
thread
there,
or
thank
something.
yeah, I'm open to decommissioning it rather than renumber. It's a short spur road anyway. And if there were no other objections from other staff members here,
No, absolutely none.
I don't know
Good
enough
luck,
about the road to make it. Yeah, I don't know. So if that's
decommissioned.
if that's a decision that you think is viable, then sure. Okay. Any other questions? Any other comments? Going once.
Like Clipper Jets?
Going twice. Okay, goodbye. Meeting over.